You're feeding it right now. That part of you. The one that wants the easy thing, the quick hit, the instant escape. Every time you reach for your phone when you should be thinking. Every time you watch another video when you should be sleeping. Every time you scroll when you should be creating. You're feeding it, and it's getting stronger. There's a version of you growing in the dark, built from every moment you chose comfort over discomfort. Every time you picked distraction over presence. Every time you ran from boredom instead of sitting with it. And that version, it's not on your side. It never was. It wants you weak, dependent, unable to function without the next hit. And you keep feeding it, hundreds of times a day, without even noticing. Let me show you what I mean. You wake up tired, not physically tired, mentally exhausted before the day even starts. And the first thing you do, before your eyes fully focus, before you remember where you are, is grab your phone. Not because you need something, because you can't not do it. That's not you. That's the thing you've been feeding. You sit down to work, to create, to do something that actually matters. And within 3 minutes, your brain is screaming for stimulation, demanding entertainment, begging for distraction. You tell yourself just 5 minutes, just one video, just a quick scroll. 30 minutes later, you're watching content you don't care about, reading comments that don't matter, consuming information you'll forget in an hour. And whatever you were supposed to do, still waiting, untouched, while that part of you that wants easy pleasure just got fed again. This is the modern trap. Not drugs, not alcohol, not the obvious addictions we're taught to recognize. This is the slow rewiring, the quiet replacement of your will with someone else's algorithm. And the worst part? You think you're in control. You think you're making choices. But that thing you've been feeding, it's making the choices now. You're just along for the ride. Here's how it started. Not when you got your first smartphone. Earlier, way earlier. As a kid, you learned to wait, to be bored, to let your mind wander when there was nothing to do. Waiting in line? You observed, watched people, made up stories about them in your head. You daydreamed, you thought. Riding in a car? You watched the world pass, counted telephone poles, looked for patterns in the clouds. You got lost in your head. You created internal worlds, entire universes that existed only in your imagination. Long summer afternoons with nothing to do. You built things, drew things, made up games. Your brain, when unstimulated, created its own stimulation. That's how creativity works. It grows in emptiness, in boredom, in the space between external inputs. Your brain developed patience, the ability to delay gratification, the capacity to sit with discomfort, to wait for something without immediately filling the waiting with something else. But then something changed. First it was TV on demand, then internet everywhere, then smartphones in your pocket, then apps engineered by neuroscientists whose job was to make you check just one more time. And slowly, so slowly you didn't notice, you lost the ability to be bored. Now boredom feels wrong, painful, like something crawling under your skin, something to fix immediately. So you reach, you scroll, you check, you consume. And every time you do, that part of you gets stronger. The part that can't tolerate emptiness, can't handle silence, can't function without external stimulation. You're not building a life, you're building a dependency. And here's what nobody tells you. The more you feed it, the hungrier it gets. That 5-minute scroll used to satisfy. Now it barely touches the craving. That one video used to be enough. Now you need 3, then 5. Then an hour disappears, and you barely remember what you watched. This is tolerance, the same mechanism as drug addiction. Your brain adapts, raises the threshold, demands more to feel the same level of satisfaction. You know how it works. A coffee used to wake you up. Now you need 2, then 3. Then you're drinking 4 cups and still tired. Same thing, but with dopamine, with stimulation, with that little hit of novelty every time you pull to refresh. Your brain's reward system has a baseline, a threshold, and every time you hit it with easy stimulation, that threshold goes up. Just a little, barely noticeable. But do it hundreds of times a day for years? That threshold is so high now that normal life doesn't even register. A conversation with a friend, below threshold, doesn't feel rewarding. Working on something meaningful, below threshold, feels like punishment. Sitting with your own thoughts, way below threshold, feels like dying. So you keep reaching for the thing that's above threshold. The phone, the videos, the endless scroll, because that's the only thing that still produces any feeling at all. Except you're not getting satisfaction anymore. You're just feeding the hunger. And while you're feeding it, something else is starving. The version of you that can focus, the version that can create, the version that doesn't need constant external validation to feel okay. That version is dying of neglect. Because every moment you spend feeding the easy part, you're not feeding the strong part. And the strong part doesn't get strong from comfort. It gets strong from resistance, from doing hard things, from sitting with discomfort instead of running from it. But you're running, all day, every day, from anything that feels even slightly difficult. And the thing you've been feeding? It loves that you're running, because every time you run, it gets fed. Let me paint you a picture of where this goes. 5 years from now, 10 years, 20. You've spent so much time feeding the easy part that the strong part barely exists anymore. You can't read a book, can't watch a full movie, can't have a conversation without your hand drifting to your pocket. You start a book, get 3 pages in, your mind wanders, not to interesting thoughts, to wondering what you're missing on your phone. You sit down for dinner with someone you care about. They're talking, you're nodding, but you're not there. You're thinking about checking. Just a quick check. They won't notice. They notice. You try to work on something important, something that actually matters. Open the document, stare at it. Nothing comes. Your brain feels sluggish, foggy, like trying to run through water. So you check your phone, just to wake your brain up, just to get the gears moving. 2 hours later, the document is still blank. Your relationships are shallow because you're never fully present. Your work is mediocre because you can't sustain focus. Your dreams are abandoned because you never built the discipline to pursue them. And you know something's wrong. You feel it, that sense that life is passing and you're not really living it. But by then, the thing you've been feeding is so strong that you can't stop feeding it, even when you try. Because it's not about willpower anymore. It's about neural pathways, about literal brain structure that's been built over years of feeding the wrong thing. Your brain has become optimized for quick hits, for shallow engagement, for constant novelty, and the things that actually matter, the deep work, the real relationships, the meaningful creation. Those require a brain that can do hard things. But you haven't been training that brain. You've been training the opposite. This is the slow catastrophe. Not sudden, not dramatic, just a gradual erosion of your ability to do anything difficult. And one day you'll wake up and realize you're not the person you thought you'd become. You're the person your habits created. And those habits? They've been feeding the wrong part for so long that the right part barely remembers how to function. But here's what's terrifying and liberating at the same time. It's not too late. Yet. That strong part? It's still there. Weak, neglected, barely alive, but there. And you can start feeding it instead. But not with motivation, not with willpower, not with promises to do better, with something way more brutal, starving the other part. Here's what that actually looks like. You stop feeding the easy part. Completely. For periods of time. Not forever. Just long enough to let it weaken. No phone in the morning for the first hour. You wake up. Not on silent. Not in another room. Literally off. Dead. That first hour? You're bored. Uncomfortable. Your brain is screaming for stimulation. Like an addict needing a fix. That's the thing you've been feeding, trying to get fed. Don't feed it. Sit with the discomfort. Let your mind wander. Let thoughts complete instead of interrupting them every 30 seconds. This is not meditation. This is not mindfulness. This is strategic starvation. You're weakening the part of you that needs constant input. And in that weakness, the strong part starts to remember what it's like to function without external stimulation. Throughout the day, create barriers. Not just willpower. Actual friction. Want to check social media? Delete the apps. Force yourself to log in through a browser every time. Add 30 seconds of inconvenience. That inconvenience? It creates space. A gap between impulse and action. And in that gap, you can choose. Actually choose. Not just react. Want to watch videos? Fine. But timer first. 15 minutes. When it goes off, you're done. No, just one more. Because just one more is how the thing you've been feeding stays strong. And here's the hard part. You have to replace it. Because if you just try not to feed the bad part, you'll fail. Your brain needs something to do. So give it something hard. Read a physical book. Not on a device. Pages. The kind that don't have notifications. First 10 minutes? Torture. Your brain is pulling toward your phone. Like gravity. Like magnets. That's the withdrawals. Push through. By page 20, you're in. By page 50, you've remembered what it's like to actually think. Create something. Anything. Write. Draw. Code. Build. Make music. With no distractions. Phone off. Apps closed. Just you and the work. First hour? Painful. Your brain is used to immediate feedback. To likes. To validation. To constant novelty. But that's not creation. That's consumption pretending to be creation. Real creation is uncomfortable. It requires sustained focus. It requires dealing with the fact that what you're making might suck. And the only way to build that tolerance is to do it. Repeatedly. Without feeding the easy part. Gradually, something shifts. You notice you can focus longer. Think deeper. Create better. Not because you suddenly got smarter or more talented, because you stopped feeding the part of you that wants everything easy and started feeding the part that can do hard things. And that part? It doesn't just make you more productive. It changes who you are. You stop needing external validation. You can sit alone without feeling empty. You can face difficulty without immediately reaching for escape. This is what they used to call character. The ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. But you can't build character while you're feeding the part of you that wants everything comfortable. And here's how you'll know it's working. When the strong part starts to come back to life, you'll notice it in small things first. You finish a book, an actual book, cover to cover, and you remember what you read. You have a conversation, a real one, where you're fully there. And afterward, you don't immediately check your phone to fill the silence. You start something difficult. And instead of reaching for escape after 3 minutes, you push through. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour. Your tolerance for discomfort grows. Not because discomfort becomes comfortable, but because you stop treating every uncomfortable moment like an emergency that needs immediate fixing. You start creating instead of just consuming. Ideas come, not from inputs, from the empty spaces between inputs, from boredom, from silence, from the parts of your brain that only work when they're not being constantly interrupted. You sleep better, not because you're less stressed, because your brain isn't jacked up on stimulation until the moment you close your eyes. You feel more, not just happiness, everything, the full range, because you haven't been numbing yourself with constant distraction. And slowly, very slowly, you start to recognize yourself again. The person you were before you started feeding the wrong thing. The person who could do hard things, who didn't need constant entertainment to feel okay. That person was always there, just buried, starved, waiting. You have to choose every single day. Which part are you feeding? The part that wants easy or the part that can do hard? Because both can't be strong at the same time. There's only so much energy, so much time, so much attention. And every moment you spend feeding one is a moment the other isn't getting fed. So look at your day, your actual day, not the day you wish you had, the one you're actually living. How many times did you reach for your phone when you were supposed to be doing something else? How many times did you choose distraction over presence? How many times did you feed the easy part instead of the strong part? Because that number? That's how fast the wrong part is growing. And one day, maybe not today, maybe not this year, but one day you're going to need the strong part. You're going to face something that requires real focus, real discipline, real ability to do hard things. And if you've spent years feeding the easy part, the strong part won't be there. It'll have starved to death while you were busy scrolling. So the question isn't, how do I get motivated? Or how do I find willpower? The question is, which part are you feeding right now, today, this moment? Because that's the part that's going to define who you become. Choose carefully, because one of them will destroy you, and you're the one feeding it.